There's something that makes a Ghibli film different. It goes beyond the art style, the movement, and the attention to detail. It has something to do with those films' ability to portray magical elements in a space that retains realism. Hayao Miyazaki, co-founder of Studio Ghibli, never seeks to distort space and time. He lets moments linger. He lets scenes breathe and stretch out their legs. A train gliding across still water, a girl on a broomstick. These scenes don't rush to the next explosion or monologue. They pass through ordinarily, portraying universally relatable moments where there is time, whether we want it to or not, to feel, to take in. And one of the biggest components to relaying that relatability is the deliberate shot choices being made. Most films and most anime use the wide or long shots to quickly establish a setting. Ghibli does that too, sure, but they also use these shots to do something more powerful. To show relationships, to highlight emotion, and to remind us of how beautiful their worlds truly are. But before we dive into this any further, if you enjoy exploring anime through a cinematic lens, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming videos from me. Okay, class, let's get started with the basics. What exactly is a wide shot? In essence, the term wide and long shot can often be used interchangeably, but there are some nuances. In simplest terms, a wide shot frames a character fully inside the world around them. You can see their whole body and see the space that they occupy. But it's not just about showing more of the environment. A wide shot creates context. It shows how a character fits or doesn't fit into the world they're standing in. So, what makes a long shot different? It's pulling the camera back, shrinking the character until they're small against a massive landscape. Long shots can create a sense of distance, of loneliness, and of awe. And then there's the establishing shot, a technique filmmakers often use to open a scene, quickly implanting us into a new setting, frequently with the use of a wide or a long shot. In most film and television shows, wide shots, long shots, and establishing shots are often used to simply say, "This is where we are," to its viewers. But Ghibli doesn't stop there. For them, these shots don't just show us where the characters are. They show us what they're feeling. They show us what they're up against. They make us feel like the world around them is breathing in harmony with them. The very first shot of Kiki's delivery service is a wide. We see a big stretch of countryside, and after a few seconds, camera pans, and there's Kiki, lying in the grass, listening to the radio. It's a simple way to introduce a character, but it also sets the tone. She's grounded, but looking up and out. As the film goes on, Ghibli keeps returning to this kind of framing. Wide shots of Kiki flying through the sky, long shots of her navigating a brand new city, often with her back to us. We're experiencing the world as she does. These shots do a few things at once. They highlight how magical flying is, how beautiful this world is from above, but they also remind us of how small Kiki really is. Ghibli uses wide and long shots here not just to show off the setting, but to put us in Kiki's shoes. She's a young girl in a new place, trying to figure out who she is. And when we see her framed against the sky or dwarfed by a city street, we feel the weight of that. Kiki's wide shots help remind us what it feels like to grow up, what it's like being unsure or small in a vast world. Slowly, quietly, and a little bit lost in a big city. But not every wide shot is used like this. Sometimes it's about bringing us closer to something unexpected, like a quiet moment at a bus stop with a forest spirit. In this scene, Satsuki and Mei are waiting for their dad at a bus stop. It's been raining hard and getting dark, and for a while, not much happens. The pacing is not rushed, it's intentional. We see Satsuki holding Mei, checking the road, shifting her weight. It's quiet, and we're right there with her, waiting in real time. Then, our good neighbor Totoro shows up. First, we hear him. Then, we see his feet walking into frame. At one point, the camera cuts wide, and suddenly, he's standing next to them, completely still, with only a leaf on his head for cover. It's not enough to shield him from the storm, but he stands there like it is. The wide shot gives us space to take in the contrast. The huge forest spirit calmly waiting in the rain, trying his best to stay dry. When Satsuki offers him her umbrella, he accepts it. We get another wide. It's clearly too small for him. Those two cuts to the wide do a lot. They don't just show us the scene. They let us feel the awkward and gentle charm of it. The first half makes us feel like we're standing there with the girls. The second half opens up the world, just enough for something strange and magical to quietly walk into it. Finally, we come to one of Ghibli's most iconic sequences, the train scene in Spirited Away. At this point in the film, Chihiro has already been through so much. She's lost yet determined, and on her way to find answers. The train ride lasts just over 2 minutes. After they get on the train, there's no dialogue. No real action. Just Chihiro and No Face, sitting quietly as the train glides over a flooded world. In a typical film or anime, this might be a quick transition scene, a simple way to get from point A to point B. But here, it's given time. We get long, uninterrupted takes. We see the water stretching endlessly outside the windows. We see Chihiro in profile, staring out, processing everything without saying a word. The framing keeps us at a distance for most of it, watching her from a few seats away. That distance matters. It mirrors her emotional state. She's quiet, reflective, changed, and the film gives us space to feel that. The score does a lot of heavy lifting here, as it elevates the visuals. Gentle, melancholic, never trying to lead your emotions too forcefully. The sound of the train on the tracks, the quiet splash of water, all of it adds to the mood. The long and wide shots here aren't filler. They're purposeful. They make us feel like we're on the train too, staring out the window, unsure of what comes next. And that's why this scene resonates with so many of us. Not because of what happens, but because of how real it feels. How it relates to every big moment of waiting that gets scattered throughout day-to-day life. And how simply it lets that relatability unfold. Across all three of these scenes, Kiki in the sky, the sisters at the bus stop, Chihiro on the train, there's a common thread. These wide and long shots don't just show us where the characters are. They show us where they are emotionally. They let us feel the distance, connection, uncertainty, wonder, and again, it aims to portray the real. To Miyazaki, notions of space and time, what is real, should not be, in his words, distorted. A proponent of realism, though magical realism, the co-founder of Studio Ghibli has long expressed this intention to avoid a culture of manga-like stories that are stereotypical and locked in its own enclosed world, as he said in a 1997 interview with a Japanese newspaper. Contrary to that, Miyazaki made a key distinction in that same interview, noting that Studio Ghibli has consistently tried to make films, not anime. In other words, as he puts it, to express time and space with more universality. And that still feels like the case. He went on to say that Ghibli looks for the forms of representation that are understandable to a country grandpa watching our film for the very first time. The term country grandpa signals a sort of shared understanding or consciousness, that universality that he was talking about. And whoever hears the term projects in their mind the image of their idea of one. But in its essence, it's always the same country grandpa. It's no wonder then that Ghibli films are so invested in conveying a connection to the natural world. It's the basis, language, or a set of signals that is most recognizable, and has been for a millennia. Humanity's connection to the world around them is a universally understood thematic concept. It's real for everyone. The region and terrain may be different, one's life and situation may be different, but there's a mutual harmony. And what better way to illustrate that in film than with the use of the wide and long shots? If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Now, I really want to hear from you. What is a quiet Ghibli scene that always stuck with you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video and want to be a part of future anime discussions, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. I will see you all next time. Bye!